What is up, 49er fans? It is Cover 2 Monday, which means I've got Coach in the building. What's up, Coach?
What's going on, Jess? 3-0, ho! What up?
3-0, ho.
What's
I
good?
don't know that that's how I would have put it, but welcome in, brother. Welcome in. Not the best Monday news today, I must say. We found out earlier that Nick Bosa is going to have a season-ending surgery on a torn ACL. Now, the good news is it was a clean tear, whatever that means. Basically, he just doesn't, no meniscus or anything else went along with it. But this is his third time tearing his ACL, second time tearing this particular ACL. What are your thoughts overall when you heard the news? You and I were actually on the phone together. So what were your thoughts when you heard it, though?
That it's time for other guys to step up. That's definitely the first thing that came up. Another thing about it is that, we're going to have to find other creative ways how to rush the passer. I think that's the biggest thing with losing a Nick Bosa. I think the leadership, the tutelage, him being able to help bring guys up in the room, that's not going to be lost, right? He's still going to be around. But I'm encouraged about how we were able to stop the run. Sans his involvement after he got injured. Now that doesn't mean that we're gonna necessarily not see different ways people play us. Nick Bosa, who you have to account. So now, what's really going to be frustrating is now we're going to start seeing doubles on Bryce Huff. Right, we're going to start seeing people really lean on Mykel Williams. Right now, we have to figure out exactly, the pace in the pace in which Mykel Williams was developing his pass rush set and his skill set. I mean, that's accelerated like exponentially now. Like that needs to happen, and not just for his own maturation process as a rookie, as we all know, but quite honestly, for us to win games. Right, that is going to. I feel like that's going to be parallel with with us wanting to win, right? So it's a blow. It sucks. There's a whole nother conversation about what this means for Nick Bosa, the player, right, in his career,
which is a conversation that I want to have. There's actually multiple conversations I want to have off of this. So let's talk about the Nick Bosa, the player, and then let's talk about what they can and what they should do. A lot of people are advocating for them to try to make a trade for another pass rusher. So we'll talk about that. But let's talk about Nick Bosa, the player, because that was really the first thought that I had. I immediately got off the phone with you. We didn't really react. I was like, yo, I got to put up.
We got to go.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I went, recorded the short right there and uploaded it. And in that moment, one of the things that I thought was, is this the last of Nick Bosa in the way that we're used to seeing Nick Bosa? Not
right. Is
that
this
he
it?
Can't be productive or whatever, but you're paying this man like a low-end quarterback in the NFL, and he now has his third ACL injury, second one with the 49ers, and to boot, the second time that he's essentially missed a full season. He started out on fire. This was looking to be one of his better seasons, but at some point, enough is enough, and he is trending eerily similar to the way that his brother was with these injuries at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the numbers right now, Nick Bosa is counting $20.4 million against the cap right now. That's huge, right? His dead cap after post June 1 cut is $96 million. So we're stuck with him. That's the biggest thing. One thing that I will say is that I understand that us being 3-0 and we're in the throes of the season, there's a lot of people asking like, hey, what do we do with Nick? Well, it's got to happen very soon. In 2026, his cap number balloons up to $42 million. He counts for 14.2% of the cap next year. And then the subsequent years after that, in 2027 and 28, it's unreal. You put another 10 million on that to 52 million, and then he gets another 42 million in year 2028. So definitely, the loyalty and the relationship between Nick Bosa and the Niners is going to show itself out in this process. I would deem that they do restructure down the line. There's just no way that
probably going into next year, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're gonna have to restructure. And then we'll see. This is just another relationship within the organization that you think is ironclad until two different parties have to make decisions that are in the best interest of themselves. So Nick Bosa was on pace to hit around like 11 sacks this year, 11 to 12 sacks this year, which is serviceable.
But his impact was big. You know what I mean? It was.
I was just about to say, but I almost feel like we were kind of getting the best part of what Nick Bosa can give us because he was bringing up the room. Right. He was actually really good in really good in run defense. He was really holding down the edge, closing out back-to-back games with sacks that we absolutely needed. So one thing that I really started enjoying with Nick this season is that I can really understand that he was picking his spots. Last year, it was just full tilt because we needed him. Right. So he was just gassed at all times. But I felt like this year, not to say that he was, picking and choosing his spots like he wasn't playing hard all the time, but he was understanding when it was time for him to turn on that special level. So it's disconcerting. As you could tell, like it's taking the wind out of my sails. We found out that we lost him for the year. That's crazy. I had a little bit of hope because he was still on his feet. He was walking off, maybe a meniscus tear, something where he could possibly be back in 6 to 8 weeks. But this was huge because not only is it a loss for the season, but it shifts the relationship. There's a whole different conversation we have to have with Nick. And just one last thing before I pass over. I don't want to go get anybody. I specifically talked about this in the beginning of the season. And the bigger picture is let's not be where our feet are, guys. The bigger picture is that we have to get these draft classes up to speed. Okay. It is not about going to go get we're not a player away from anything. We're not that team. So whatever we will be getting to replace Nick Bosa, it would cost us what we absolutely need at the end of the season, which is draft capital and assets. We do not need to go get anybody, honestly. And the thing about that also is that going to go get somebody else takes away from another season that will also know exactly what we have in these rookies. That's why we know exactly what's going on with the rookie class from last year. It's because they had so many reps, because they played through the season. This is what we talked about in the beginning of the season, that we were going to give these guys a chance to play. We're going to give these guys, because this is rare. We know that as soon as the Niners get themselves in a window, there is no more traditional football. Nobody's getting developed. It's all about playing the best guys, getting ready for the playoffs, and pushing for a Super Bowl. We're in a very rare opportunity with this coaching staff where, dare I say it, they're forced to coach and they're forced to develop. And this is where we need to be, because we got a whole nother draft class that we have to get ready, because we are still paying the cost from what we did with the trade. So please, I do not want to see us. The Niners have been calling and kicking the tires on Kayvon Thibodeau or Bradley Chubb, or for what? Why? Another expensive paperweight that's just going to be around, and we're going to get Chase Young again. We're going to get Chase Young. So if you don't know, do your Googles.
I couldn't agree with that more. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But when it comes to Bosa's career, yeah, I think that you're right, that at the very least they're going to restructure. The thing is that Bosa is not like any other player. Unless it fully benefits him, he's not going to just lay down and be like, yeah, let's restructure. Now, usually it does, because you get money up front. I'm sure he'll oblige eventually, but it's tougher working with the Bosas. They're businessmen. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're not going to play a game where you hear from them or they do the social media. He just won't be there. And he'll use his knee and say that I'm not ready. So, yeah, they're going to have to figure that out.
And they think they're a brand, too. They almost think they're kind of like a first family of football, which is kind of nuts. Sure. But I give it to them.
But that's what they do. So,
yeah.
I mean, and as far as will he ever be the same player? I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't worry about him physically getting back because I think that can happen. But I just worry about his ability to stay healthy overall. I mean, even last year it was the oblique. It's just always something. And his brother's the same. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a meme almost. Oh, look at how big his thighs are and all that. That's not normal though. The human body isn't built to withstand that. So when you put that kind of pressure on the rest of your joints, these are the things that happen. Torn ACLs happen when you have quads that size. Like it's the same thing that happened to Jamal Anderson back in the day. You know what I
You're
mean?
one
It's
step
just,
away from saying it without saying it, but we're trying to be responsible on YouTube. But
yeah. You know what I'm thinking.
yeah,
Anyways,
we're all hearing it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Labalco.
So, right, exactly. So, it is what it is. But as far as what should the 49ers do this season, brother, I couldn't have said it any better myself. There were 3 things that I talked about all offseason.
Mm-hmm.
The reasons I'm praising the 49ers, and they had 3 missions this year. One is to develop these young players,
Mm-hmm.
continue to develop these young players. That was number 1. Number 2 was to cut the cap for the future, which they've done that as well. So this is why I gave them a lot of praise this offseason. But number 3 was use this season to learn how to win in the NFL. The 49ers have had the luxury of being so good for so long that they are above the fray when it comes to playing in tight games.
Mm-hmm.
This year, we knew that was not going to be the case. They were going to be in a ton of tight games. And so far, all 3 have been tight, and they've needed to either make a defensive stand or go win on offense, and they've done it to their credit in all 3 games. They're learning how to win, and when you have a roster turnover of 35%, it's important that all of these guys figure that out, especially when they're young. So the mission is being accomplished right in front of us. What you then cannot do, in my opinion, is backtrack for an effort to win a Super Bowl. Newsflash. Bosa healthy, they're still not winning a Super Bowl this year. They
Right.
were never going to win a Super Bowl this year. I don't care what it looks like or this guy's coming back and this, none of that matters. This was not a Super Bowl caliber team with Nick Bosa. So getting Kayvon Thibodeau or whoever you want is not going to push them over the edge. So why are you going to spend a 4th, 5th, whatever round pick and then pay them and cut away from the money that you're rolling over? It doesn't make any sense. You're literally doing the opposite of what you should have, like what you did all offseason and what we're praising you for. I'm not then going to praise you, be like, oh, they went and got Kayvon Thibodeau or Trey Hendrickson or whoever that person is. It's not going to fill Nick Bosa's shoes, and they weren't going to win a Super Bowl with Nick Bosa. So don't waste the money. This team is building something special for the future. I really believe that. They're doing such a good job. They're finally rounding the corner on the Trey Lance trade. Last year's draft looks good. This year's draft looks good. No draft is perfect, but so far so good for the most part. Just develop these guys, man, and use those assets for when you can be a contender, I believe, as soon as next year, if everything falls the way that it should. So I just, in my opinion, I don't think they should go out and get any. You have to add somebody, right? Obviously, you have the roster spot. So whoever that is, if you can get, somebody on the vet minimum, whatever that's out there, fine. But don't trade anything to go get a Kayvon Thibodeau. That's not going to get you over the edge. It's just not.
I agree. Right now, going to go get a guy right now would just be for the fans that would just want to see us win right away, and I just don't think that there's anybody exactly that you can replace him with. So we just got to understand that, hey, man, look, the rubbers have to meet the road with Nick Bosa anyway. You know what I'm saying? We got to clear the books. Exactly, Marissa. We got to clear the books. And we've got to just make sure that we're staying the course. Consistency is going to get us through this. And we got to stay consistent. So, hey, no window shopping. We're
not the hare. We're not the hare in this race. We're the tortoise.
Yeah.
Right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We've tried to be the hare and we've got no rings. So let's be the tortoise for once.
Right. I don't want to get another guy. Then he gives this interview. It's awesome here. Oh, you guys are the best. The coaching staff is awesome. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, nah, dude, we know you why you're here. You wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for old Nikki going down. So I mean, look,
you're not.
let's just stand.
You're not saving the season, pal.
All right? Yeah, exactly. Stand pat.
So I know it's not exciting to hear. You love and I trust me, I could get content for a day. Oh, let's break down Kevin Thibodeau film. Newsflash, Oregon Duck fan. He's not that great. All right. So it's not, it is what it is. He's not special. Okay. And I didn't think he was special coming out of college, and he's not special in the NFL. He's not going to do anything for you that's going to put you over the edge. So we can bang the drum for Kayvon Thibodeau. It's not, who cares? I could care less. Mr. ACTG2 says, Coach wearing 49er gear, pigs must be flying today. I thought the same thing backstage. I didn't say anything, but
I would tell you why. I got a lot of Niners gear and I don't wear it. And the reason why is because we've been way too popular. And there's a lot of weirdos that have been calling themselves 49ers fans. But I am so proud of the 3-0 that we have gotten this season. I'm proud of what they have done. I'm proud of it. So I'll wear it. When they fight like this, I'll wear the gear. But outside of everything else, man, do your thing. But I love the resolve. I'm proud to wear it, man. It's a who's who logo again. You got to be down for the cause to be wearing Niners gear right now. So that's why I'm wearing it.
For sure. Eric says, ever since Kyle took over, the 49ers are cursed. I mean, injury-wise, for sure, but it was that way, by the way, with Harbaugh, too. I mean, they had a plethora of injuries back then. I remember it just seemed like all the time they were getting injured. This has been a long time. I don't understand it. I don't know what it is. I don't know that anybody's to blame. Just, I don't know. It kind of is what it is. All right, speaking of injuries, CJ West broke his thumb and is going to have surgery. Now, certainly we don't know how long this injury is, but I will say, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. You played offensive line, so you tell me if I'm off base here. Guys all the time in the secondary or linebackers play with casts, and it works. Mm-hmm. I feel like at the lineman level, you're hand fighting way too much to be wearing a big block on your hand and be effective. That's just my opinion. Mm-hmm. Am I right or am I wrong with that? Like, what do you think? Do you think he can cast up and be fine, or should he sit out until he at least can expose his fingers and use his hands a little bit?
Well, I will say this. If you don't have, it depends on what fingers they are. A thumb is huge, man. If you don't have your thumb, then that's where a lot of your power is derived from, a lot of your plate, where you derive a lot of power and striking. So I don't know exactly what's going on with his thumb, literally. And that could really mess up some things that he may have going on in there. So I'm sitting here talking as if I'm a doctor. I'm not, but me personally, I've played with everything but thumb injuries. Like when you get a thumb, you can bandage it to a certain extent. I played center, so I've actually played with my hands bandaged up, and I've had a thumb injury, and you just can't do anything with it. It's a claw, literally, and you're hoping that you can your hand onto the ball and maybe get a little bit of suction that way or traction that way. As far as D-line is concerned, I have seen guys clubbed up, but I also have seen games where if we're trying to club up a kid that has an injury, if it's too big and the ref doesn't like it, he can't play, right? Mm-hmm. So the size of how they put together the padding, if he does play, is not necessarily, it's twofold. It's to the regulations of what the NFL will take, and it's the comfort of, there's no sense of clubbing him up if CJ West is like, this shit hurts. I could just play with a regular glove on. So there is that. But as far as playing with a club on offensive line, absolutely not. You're more apt to see it on defensive line because they're just striking. They're trying to get past guys. There's a couple of moves that you can't do because you can't grab. But outside of that, he'd still be able to do his job. So that's my take on it. O-line, no. D-line, yes. So there is a road where he could be playing with a club.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I mean, it's tough because it's not like he's been super effective anyway. So it's like, do you really want
to play and we're not using him that much.
Right. Very little snaps for sure. But it's this kind of was swept under the rug with the Bosa stuff. The Bosa stuff obviously takes precedence, but it is a depth piece. It's another depth piece that the 49ers could be without for quite some time. So we'll see. We don't know if he, at least I don't know as of starting the show if he's going on IR. Maybe that's been announced. I'm not sure, but something to look out for. Another depth piece along the defensive line. Not great. I want to talk about CMC for a minute.
Let's go.
CMC right now is on pace for 436 touches, Coach. That would be the most in 49er history and 33 more than he's ever had in any season in his career. And that season came in year 3 of his career. I'm going to read some stats for you real quick.
Let's go.
Year 3 of his career. Year 3 of his career, he had 403 touches. He had 2,300 total yards, 19 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry. This year, he's on pace for 33 more touches, 400 less yards, 13 less touchdowns, and 3.4 yards per carry. I hate to say I told you so when it comes to him losing a step, but I freaking told you so. He's lost a bit of a step. It doesn't mean he can't be effective. It doesn't mean he's not still awesome. And dude, he is an absolute menace as a receiver still. True. He's just not the same guy. And 436 touches at 29 years old. What are we actually doing right now? This was supposed to be Brian, and we knew it. Gosh, we knew it, and we fell for it. Oh, Brian Robinson Jr. is perfect. He's just there's tandem. Yeah. Bro, one freaking carry, and it's like he gets more yards than CMC gets all game, and they're like, nope, get out of here. CMC show. I just don't understand it, man.
He actually called himself out the game.
He does. He's been. That's the only reason he's out. Otherwise, Kyle would just keep spamming it. He'd be on pace for 500 touches if he wasn't pulling himself out of the game.
Yeah, he's got to pull himself out now. It's the other way around. Remember, it used to be, we can't keep Christian off the field. Yeah. He won't ever come off the field. He's like, you get your ass off the field now.
And that's good on him, but it's still not enough. It's still not enough. Obviously, if he's on pace for the most touches in his career, this is not a recipe to stay healthy all season long. It's just not at 29 years old with a guy that's had so many lower extremity injuries. It's frustrating to watch. I don't know. He's needed. Obviously, there's so many other injuries that he's needed. I get it, but what's the point of having these other guys? Like Garindo, does Garindo have a single touch on the offense this year?
I can't remember for that one. While you were talking. Just while you were talking, I was looking for that.
I don't know that he does. And if he does,
I don't think he does.
And there's been no garbage time. So it wasn't in garbage time. Maybe a touch. I would venture to guess Garindo's been on the field for less than 5 snaps. Offensively.
Yeah.
Let alone touches.
I don't know if Isaac Garindo, I don't know what's going on with Isaac Garindo, man. Isaac Garindo is like that clear protecting on top of like a TV or something when you buy it. It's like, dude, just rip that off. You don't have to keep that. Yo, why are you keeping
buy one that's like, it's starting to bubble in the corner. Like, it's ruining my viewing experience.
It's like, bro, give it all those air bubbles.
Protected. Yeah.
Like, you ever see somebody keeps one so long that it just gets wrinkled? And you're like, bro, take this off. You
want them to go to the bathroom so you can just go rip it off for them? Like, I don't know what happened when you were gone.
They're like, yo, my screen looks so clear. I bet it does.
Yeah. That's exactly what Garindo is. But dude, what the hell, man? What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Sorry, I went off.
No. Do your thing. My biggest thing is that the snaps, how they're bared out. This is going to get exposed. You do know this because receivers are coming back. Right now, we've been able to kind of get away with it. And honestly, let's say if Kyle was like taking the task about this and was like, yo, hey, why are you using him so much? We know there's certain questions that you can't ask Kyle in the open without him completely just being turned off. But if you could ask him, like, why are you using CMC so much? You know, he's on pace to almost hit 450 yards, 450 touches from scrimmage. Like, that's a lot for any running back in this stage of his career, let alone him with his injury history. And I think if Kyle was being honest, he could tell you we don't have receivers. He is our number 2 receiver outside of Ricky Pearsall. We don't have anything else. George Kittle is down.
He's the number 1 receiver. He had 15 targets this week. He's the number one receiver.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying though? Like
Yeah.
Kyle is like outsourcing that as well. It's like, you know, he's our number one receiver. He's our number two receiver, bro. Like he's not just the running back. And this is the easiest way that I can get. Like, honestly, if we were behind closed doors with them, they look at all those dump offs and all those routes that CMC runs as like extended handoffs. That's what they probably look at that stuff as. Yeah, like not routes, just, you know, hey, we're utilizing a skill set that we can just keep spamming, right? And it's erring on the side of empty calories once teams start realizing this is all we're going to do with CMC. So I don't know. I think that I'm giving him a little bit of grace because it's only the first 3 weeks, and let's just not forget just how injured we are. We are so blessed to be undefeated right now. Honestly, I didn't have us being undefeated in week 3. By week 3. So one thing that will expose, I think that's going to calm down. We're going to Demarcus Robinson back, right? There is a world where George Kittle comes back, right? And there's also Brandon Ayuk. We also don't forget about Jordan Watkins. He's coming back, okay?
Jordan Watkins is going to get 0 targets this year.
Because Kyle doesn't trust him. But there is one guy that I'm hoping to come in and kind of really help out CMC, which is Jordan James. You got to get him on the field. We got to figure out what's going on with Jordan James and why he is not on the field. I know he's injured, but they got to get that back quick. If you're not going to trust B-Rob, then you got to trust the guy that at least you drafted for a specific position, for a specific role. So that's my only thing, is that I want to see what we're going to do once Jordan James comes back. A lot of guys get filtered in. But I'm giving him grace because CMC has been helping out our quarterback. We've been doing this with a backup quarterback too, you know. So being able to look at the numbers right now, it's just for what's going on. It's so temperamental to start calling out to forecast what the rest of the season is going to look like, because things are really weird right now, right? So as a weapon, CMC is going to get spammed for his money, though. I could care less. Like he's getting paid aptly for what we're asking him to do.
I'm not even mad at the comment. I'm just mad that you spelled buns wrong. It's B-U-N-Z. If you're gonna call it out, then you gotta say buns.
Yeah,
B-U-N-Z.
This show, Buns, brought to you by Parquet.
Anyways, all right. Shady Luke says, Jesse, did you see that my birds
you know what that reminds me? I had like, you know that, remember How High when he's like, I know what you were gonna do with her. You were gonna frick her. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to frick her. That's who I imagine
the energy he's giving with the buns.
I know what you wanted to do. You wanted to frick her. This show is buns.
This show's buns, sir. I'm going to show how cool I am and spell it properly.
Let's get out of here, guys. Let's blow this popsicle
did you see
stand.
that my birds are using Cam Latu as fullback to block for Saquon? Laugh out loud. I only know him because of you and Grant. Hey, this is Coach's favorite player in the whole NFL is Cam Latu. So there we go. He's blocking now for Saquon. He's come up in the world.
This is growth. Me not taking this bait right now. This is growth. This is growth.
I was laying it on pretty thick for you too, and it just you weren't. I'm proud of you. I'm not
taking the bait, bro.
I got you. No, that was good. That was good. I'm actually really proud of you that you didn't. I would have taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker for sure. All right, let's do some. Hold on, didn't set it up properly. There we go. Let's do some sleeper before we get on to the next. Okay. Let's first of all, we're gonna take our freebie. Carson Wentz, half a passing yard. Got you. All right. Thursday night game. We don't have 49ers game up yet because they don't even know who the hell's playing at this point. So we're gonna take the Thursday night game. JSN 80 and a half. I'm gonna give you some options.
All right.
And I need a more from you. So whatever the answer is, it has to be more. I'm gonna give you 3 options here. I'm gonna give you JSN 80 and a half receiving yards, Kyler Murray 30 and a half rushing yards, or Sam Darnold 209.5 passing yards. Which one of those guys gets more?
JSN.
JSN. Okay, I like it. All right. Now we're going to go Trey Benson, Kenneth Walker. Who gets the anytime TD?
Well, Trey Benson, because he's going to get
I'll give you one
elevated.
more. I'll give you one more.
Trey Benson, he's going to be the starter now that
Okay.
James is down.
Okay. All right. And then we got to do one more here. Jeez, these are terrible. All right, Cooper Kupp. You can go less on this one if you want to. More or less, 42.5 receiving yards.
Say that again?
More or less, 42.5 receiving yards for Cooper Kupp. You can go more or less on this one.
Less.
I like that. I like it so much that I'm going to put 10 on it. All right, here's the deal. Sleeper. Let me actually remove this real quick. 100% deposit match up to $100 using promo code LSS. It's pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the top of the description. Check them out. Daily fantasy, weekly fantasy, yearly fantasy, and you can have some skin in the game just like we do with more or less. We're putting $10 on this one. 10 times our money. $101 on the line. Here we go, coach. Trusting in you. This is my hard-earned money that is up for this. So I'm going to need you to be right. Can you do that for me?
All right, let's go.
All right, good. All right, there we go. Play along with us. You can fade us or you can tail us. Completely up to you. Either way, play Sleeper, promo code LSS. All right. We got the doom and gloom stuff out of the way. All right. We got the Bosa injury and the CJ West injury and the CMC touches out of the way. But there are some players that have really stepped up this year that are very impressive. Very impressive. So why don't you give me one player on offense and one player on defense that you are just extremely impressed with thus far into the season?
Thus far into the season, I would say offensively, I've been impressed with Jake Tonjes.
Okay.
For a guy who, life as a career backup in the NFL, is you got to pick your spots. It's like being a reliever in baseball.
For sure.
You don't get a lot of reps or time on task, and you're expected to kind of like close games and actually be lights out when you're called upon. I do love the consistency of just his skill set. He's very even keeled as far as what you're going to get out of him as far as a blocker, a passer, and a catcher. One thing I like about him is he's very sudden. He's very conscientious as far as knowing the offense. That really wasn't the case last year. There were a lot of instances where he seemed a little lost on the field. Didn't necessarily have his bearings around him exactly what to do. But in this season, not only has Jake Tonjes actually carved out a role for himself, but he actually knows the offense to the clip where he played fullback when Kyle Juszczyk went down last week and played another position. I mean, that was huge. Now, what he doesn't do well as far as blocking, he leaves a little bit more to be desired. But as far as holding down his blocking assignments, with Luke Farrell being an inline tight end and Jake Tonjes being able to be a guy out there inside of the middling zones, the hook to curl routes and the curl to flats. I love it, man. Jake Tonjes is actually, I won't be sacrilegious. I mean, George Kittle is George Kittle, but he's made that blow less harder for us to go up against. So Jake Tonjes has been somebody that I've been really impressed with on the offense.
I'm going to go with Mac Jones.
I knew you
How
were
can
gonna
I not? This
Jones.
guy, listen.
I didn't want to take it because I knew you'd do it way better than me.
you know what I realized with Mac Jones? I didn't even realize this yesterday. I took me till today to realize it. Last week, I was going off about how many attempts he had and, how it took Brock Purdy until start 39 to have 40 attempts, and Mac Jones in start 1 had 39 and did all those things. He actually had 41 yesterday, more than he had the week before. That's more than Brock Purdy's had at any point in his career.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes. 41 attempts for Mac Jones. Mac Jones coming in as a backup quarterback. They win 2 games with all of the injuries that are around him, with Cooney, Brendel, and Colby having god-awful pass blocking grades. They were, in fact, I'm just gonna, I want to make sure that I'm right on this, just so that we are clear. Jake Brendel, passing grade of 38.1. Dominic Pooney, pass blocking grade of 28.9. Connor Colby, pass blocking grade of 14.1. That's what he had in front of him, along with nobody to help him out outside of Pearsall and CMC. And to throw an interception the way that he did, to bounce back from that interception, I don't know what Sky Moore was doing to pin them inside the 5. Who fair catches inside the 5? I don't know what that
Scott
was.
Moore is a wild dude, man.
Then Kyle Shanahan compounds on that, but like, let's just go straight drop back right here in the end zone. It was an awful setup, awful play call. They get the safety, and Mac Jones battles with the game on the line, puts him in position to win, albeit while re-aggravating his PCL. And then the best part about it, he's starting to be so likable. We talked last week, and I said he's kind of on his Baker Mayfield arc, and not from the standpoint. I don't think he'll ever be as good as Baker. Baker's a really good player right now, really good player. But Mac Jones, as far as likability, he was terrible coming out of college. He had the DUI. He's talking about the 100 mil. Then he wasn't really coachable, we heard, for the Patriots, and he's kind of bounced around a little bit, and now he's here. Dude, he gets on the podium yesterday and they're like, hey, you know what happened on that interception? Was that a great play by the defense? He's like, no, I threw it right to the defender. He's like, yeah, great. He caught it, but it was totally my fault. And then he goes, I'm not even going to apologize for it because I ripped that baby. Like, you got to love that. And then he also was asked about, hey, quarterback controversy. He's like, no, dude, this is Brock's team. I'm just happy to come in and win a couple games. I hope he's healthy next week. And I'll be there for him. Like, he's my guy. Dude, you have to love that. He's been a really good teammate. He came in and did more than what you would expect, throwing the ball 70 times or 80 times in 2 games. Mm-hmm. Dude, it's impressive. It just is. He's done a fantastic job. I'm glad he's on this team, and he deserves kudos for it. He just does.
Hey, one thing that I like about Mac is that everybody you love a guy with a little bit of dirt on him. It's just the truth, man. If you're perfect, there's always going to be people that just feel as though that you're just not real. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really touch you because I can't really identify with you. All of those things that we talked that you just brought up with Mac Jones is pretty much in line with what you're going to deal with as a young adolescent boy with a lot of access, playing on really good teams, and living it through with and feeling every emotion on the way up. I love what I hear about Mac Jones. I like the fact that he challenges coaches, man. I mean, some of the best players that I've ever coached are guys that I know that they're one more push from me, pushing them for them to curse me out. It's what you get when you get wildfire kids, where they love playing ball, they love taking over games, and it's just the mark of a competitor. Mac Jones is a competitor. That's why I love him. Mac Jones is game. You know what I mean? Like, you don't come out of Alabama and find your way on the field and you ain't game. You don't know how to work a building. You know what I mean? You don't go to the Patriots and deal with Bill Belichick and you're a wilting flower. You don't know how to be coached hard, right? Or you don't know how to work a room, right? So one thing that I like about Mac is that he's coming in here with a little bit of a time on task, and it's making everybody feel calm, right? You know, this ain't my first rodeo. I got y'all. And I love that energy from him. So I agree. I love what Mac Jones is doing for us.
Give me a player on defense you're impressed with.
D Winners.
It's hard not to say D Winners, man.
D Winners, boy. Yeah. Man, flying dude. What did I say to you earlier today? I said that he's on the clip where every game he plays is the best game of his career.
Yep.
He's getting better by the week. By the week. He was not what he did against Arizona was not the same performance that he had against Seattle. He actually had a little bit of some MAs against Seattle. Bro, you love it when it all comes together. not only is he seeing ball, going and getting ball, but he's trusting what he's seeing. He's allowing himself to play faster. I don't know what they're doing with him on defense, but they've taken a lot off of his plate, being able to ask him to play with his hair on fire, physical. And he brings the speed to boot because he's a little light in the ass, but still with the athleticism and how he closes on guys in open space. My God, what he's given us in the past on pass defense, on zone, saving guys on third down. I mean, D. Winters has done everything. He's faster than Fred. He's more sudden than Fred. He's more sideline to sideline than Fred. And I'm saying all of that about one of the best linebackers in football, which is Fred Warner, right? So D. Winters, it's hard to carve a role for yourself in the NFL. It's even tougher to carve a role for yourself on a good team. It's almost damn near impossible to carve your role for yourself on a good team, fitting the shoes of a guy who was already doing it good in Dre Greenlaw, right? D. Winters has done all of that in 3 weeks, and I'm happy. I'm sitting back. I'm a big fan of his, and I just want to see him just keep on getting, because the sky is the limit for D. But I love the confidence he's playing with. We got another one, bro. We keep doing that at linebacker, but D. Winters has impressed me.
The other impressive part is that they tried to get rid of, like, replace him at every turn. They went and tried to save the Dre Greenlaw thing, and then they drafted Nick Martin. And Nick Martin's been a healthy scratch all 3 weeks, hasn't even played a snap. And D. Winters just keeps on balling. The unfortunate thing is I think this is the last year of his contract.
So they better pay his ass.
They're gonna have to figure something out with that. Yeah. So that's the only downside of this. But yeah, D. Winters, man, he is. If you put 57 in an arm brace on him, you would think it was Dre Greenlaw. Nobody would know. Nobody would be none the wiser. They really would.
Flying all over the place, Jesse. It's amazing.
Yep. And he has that swag.
I think we may have lost Jess, but I'll continue on, man. I don't think Greenlaw has even played yet with Denver. One thing that I will say is that what D. Winters has done, man, with the team has been absolutely amazing. As Jesse just mentioned, they tried everything to get rid of him. They tried to close out the Jay Greenlaw trade. As I almost had them, I wanted them to pick up Jahad Campbell from Alabama in the first week to replace the Dre Greenlaw absence of him moving on to Denver. That's how bad I wanted to fill the spot, and I didn't believe that there was anybody on the team that could be able to help out Fred Warner. But Dre Greenlaw, man, D. Winters has been class personified, dude. One of the things that I will tell you is that there's a couple of other guys on defense. There's a couple of other guys on defense that have helped me, that I love what they've done, that I've been impressed with. Mykel Williams, man. Mykel Williams he's another one that's getting better by the week. He went out of the game last week with a wrist injury and then came back later on, missed a couple of series. But what he has done in the run game, I mean, him essentially playing two positions, going from edge all the way to D tackle and back, you gotta love exactly what Mykel Williams is giving you. One thing about it is that he just looks like a first round pick. Another guy on the defense, on offense, I'll switch over. Another guy on offense that has really impressed me is Trent Williams. Now, I know that that's weird, but another thing of that I want to look at with Trent Williams is that Trent is on the back end of his career, right? And with him being on the back end of his career, you can't really expect creme de la creme performance from Trent Williams at all times. And it's hard to see your hero's cape get shortened a little bit, but it's going to happen. And what Trent Williams has done juxtaposed to his third week and his first week is night and day. All right. And how he's responded, especially how he played against the Saints and the Cardinals. The offensive line has settled in, and Trent Williams is a big part of that. I understand in the first week he struggled. And definitely, I believe that this week he was a game time decision and actually chose to play. So I mean, no, that was against the Saints and actually chose to play. So one thing about it is that my two guys on offense definitely have been Trent Williams and Jake Tonjes. I talked about Michael Williams, and then we were just closing out on D Winters, man. So those are my two guys that I have for offensive defense, Jess.
Yeah, I was just about, before I got sniped there, I was about to go back in time, and I love to do this once a season at least, because I think he deserves all the credit in the world, and I hope he ends up being a coach one day. It was, on paper, one of the worst signings that the 49ers made in an offseason going into 2019 on that Super Bowl team, on paper, because it didn't even last the full year, and it was basically over for him, unfortunately, because of injury. But the impact that he made is still lasting today, in my opinion, and that's Quan Alexander. Remember, when he came, Fred Warner was a quiet guy who really didn't talk much. He just kind of did his own thing. Dre Greenlaw was a rookie, and Quan Alexander brought something crazy to that linebacker room that both of those guys credit him for. Azeez Al-Shaair as well. And we've seen that grow in Fred and Dre and Azeez, and then eventually D Winters picks up on that. It goes all the way back to that, and it's like, I'll forever be a Quan Alexander fan, because I know how much of an impact he made on this linebacker room, and it's still paying dividends today. So I just wanted to shout that out. But yes, obviously D Winters is a stud. Michael Williams was another guy I was going to go with. But this is exactly the season I expected from him. I knew that he would be a menace in the run game. I knew that he wouldn't get a lot of stats, but he would be a bit of a game wrecker. And then people would box score scout him, and they would say, "Hey, what's 14th or 11th pick overall? Is this guy worth it?
What's he doing? Yeah.
What's he doing?" It's like, just watch the game. Just please watch the game. He's making such an impact, snap in and snap out. Offensively, how can you not? I mean, Tonjes, Mac Jones, great. I know you said Trent. Man, Ricky frickin' Pearsall, dude. Ricky
Talk to me.
Frickin' Pearsall. Like, the fact that he has to be the number one focus and is still getting loose out there, it's so fun to watch. And I think because of his story too, it just makes this so much more rewarding. He's enjoying himself. Him and Kendrick Bourne are out there having fun together. I love seeing him happy. I love seeing him out there doing exactly what he wants to do. Nobody deserves it more than Ricky Pearsall. And he's just such a light-hearted guy, man. He's impossible to not root for. Like, Ricky Pearsall is just a good, wholesome dude. So very happy for him. And it's only going to get easier, because eventually Brandon Ayuk will be back and he'll be pushed to the quote-unquote number 2 guy. That's going to make his life even easier. He's going to get busy even more when Jennings and all these guys are back.
That's going to be fun when these guys come back,
sure.
and it's going to be like, yeah, talk that shit now. It's going to be, we just got to hold it together. This season is so much more interesting than the Super Bowl years. I got to be honest. Like, I love these types of seasons, man, because you really get a chance to see guys like, it's like when they're really good, it's like going to like a really, really good restaurant, but you don't get to see the cook. They serve you everything, right? But when they're shaky, it's almost like the cook has got to cook in front of you, so you get to see how the sausage is made. I love these types of seasons, man.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. All right, we got 2 topics that we were gonna go with. We're gonna go with one. I'll give you the choice live right here. Do you want to talk about who the favorites in the West are and whether that's the 49ers, or should we talk about Kyle Shanahan and is this his best coaching season thus far? What do you want to
say? Do you have to ask? We're talking about Kyle, bro.
Okay,
weird. I do not give a damn about the rest of these teams.
That's where I was gonna go. I just wanted to see if you agreed. Like,
we do not care.
We share this show together, so it's only
right.
fair that we
ain't winning the Super Bowl, bro. I don't care. We'll play them when we play them, whatever, bro.
All right, sounds good. Let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. A couple years ago, I thought he deserved to be Coach of the Year. He didn't get it. Brian Daboll got it, and this year they're 3-0. Obviously, there's the easy thing is to put the divide in who's better, Saleh or Kyle, and either way, Kyle's the head coach of this team. He's not the offensive coordinator. So we're not going to compare him as an offensive coordinator. We've got to compare him as the head coach of this team, who did bring back Saleh and Trust Sala, obviously, as he should. Brought in a whole new special teams coach and Brant Boyer. And this team is 3-0. And I don't know that they have any business being 3-0. Yes, I when the schedule came out, I had them at 3-0 in this point. But with everything that has happened, they shouldn't be 3-0. They just shouldn't be. And they are. So is this let's say this trends and they get to their 10, 11 wins, whatever. Would this be Kyle Shanahan's best coaching season for the 49ers, in your opinion?
No.
No.
I'd say the 21 year where we lost when we lost with Brock. That was 21, right? Or 22?
That was 22.
22 year.
The Eagles.
The 22 years for me was Kyle's best coaching year for the Niners. The reason why it's either
was that 23. God, I can't remember.
23 was 23 was Brock going all the way to the Super Bowl. 20
right, so
22
would have been the year. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You said it wasn't 23. It's not 23.
Oh yeah, because you're right. Because you're right. All right, you're right.
Yeah, 22 was the year prior because we went through three quarterbacks.
The 6 and 10 year out of my head like it didn't happen. That's crazy.
Yeah, we went. Yeah, last year happened. So, but that year where he goes basically through the way he went out on his sword. I even forgot what was the black kid's name? The quarterback that we had, Johnson.
Oh yeah. What, Josh
Johnson?
I don't even know. He's bounced around everywhere. I think it's Josh Johnson.
We closed out with Josh Johnson. CMC ended up having to be like the emergency quarterback. I think that's the season that invented
because Johnson got injured too.
Yeah. I think that's the season that we invented the rule, the third quarterback rule for the NFL. I thought that he did a phenomenal job coaching that year. The offense was clicking to the point where we were able to go through multiple quarterbacks and not miss a beat. Now, you could say that we were loaded at the time, and I get it, but that takes a lot. I mean, for how Kyle was dialing up the offense and creating things for Brock early when he knew that this was going to be our guy. I mean, coaching literally on the fly. You actually got to see it in the raw. I really respected what he did that season with the team because no coach you can't fake that situation, losing all of those quarterbacks and still making it to the NFC Championship game. That's the year that the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. I believe that that would have been our year that year. We would have gave the Chiefs a much better fight than the Eagles did that year, honestly.
The Eagles almost won that game. Stop. The Eagles almost won that game.
Bro. Let me be a Niners fan. I got on my shirt today.
All right.
So look,
geez, I guess.
But that year I was impressed because I believe that year we were an offensively led team, even with all of those quarterbacks going down.
It's fair. That's totally fair. You're right. I mean, they had 3 different starting quarterbacks. Brock Purdy was a rookie.
Wasn't he like 7-0, 8-0?
It's hard to argue.
That shit was crazy, bro.
That's a good point.
Kyle was cooking.
Yeah, he was. 187 says you picked against us the Saints game. Yeah, I did. What I'm saying is when the schedule came out, I had them 3-0 to this point. But my point is that with everything that's happened, like since the season has started, I don't think they should be 3-0. So that's kind of where my head's at. Like I'm trying to give them extra credit. I'm not trying to say, I had them at 3-0. I'm no surprise here. It is a surprise. You've had tons of injuries. So that has to be pointed out for sure. Yeah, I think they do this season. He certainly has the opportunity for this to be his best coaching season, because the way that I see it is, we've seen the injuries to this point. The injuries aren't stopping, by the way, Coach. Bosa's now out for the year. We know that. So we know that they're going to go 14 regular season games without Nick Bosa. That is factual. How many games does Trent Williams miss? How many games does Kittle miss? Does Purdy continue to be in and out of the lineup? CMC on pace for 436 touches. He's missing some games on that pace, right? So yeah. I just feel like when IU comes back, what does he look? There's so many question marks. I think it's going to be really hard to top that season. I do. And maybe it will even take a playoff win to do so. And I don't know that they'll get that. But man, with everything that's happened thus far, and if things continue to trend even close to this from an injury standpoint, I don't know, man. That's a hell of a coaching job that he's putting on. And the reason that I bring it up, it's not to really debate which season would be better. We don't know how this season's played out yet. It's impossible to do that. But it is to say that we can be fair and balanced. Because you and I especially have really gone in on Kyle. We had a whole thing 2 off seasons ago where we went in for an hour and a half and opened the eyes of everybody in this fan base. They're like, wow, I had no idea.
He's one of the best punching bags of all time.
He is. But at the same
he gives
time,
us so much material.
He really does. But when credit is due, we are also going to give it. We just are.
True.
And you gave it for a season a few seasons ago. We're both giving it for this season thus far, although it's early. Listen, man, he's doing a great job. Yes, Robert Saleh is crushing it.
Hold. Now, okay,
Yeah.
I got to interject.
Yeah,
now, wait just a minute.
Yeah, wait just a minute here. You're too nice. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we're doing way too much. So, look.
All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Hey, hater coach coming in here.
No. All right. So look. I'll do it this way. There's a super chat. Put Frisco Shields' super chat up.
All right, Frisco Shields. So why ain't Kyle cook things?
Why hasn't Kyle cooked things up for Brock Purdy now, basically? And I feel like because when Kyle gets a new quarterback or he gets somebody new, he coaches to their strengths because he knows that there's no way that the quarterback can take the blame for failing. It's on him. He has ownership. So it's like, all right, kid, what can you do? Right. And let's stay with that. And let's stay within these things that help you out. Right. What happens is that as the progress heightens, Kyle switches from, and people start looking at the quarterback as like, oh, this guy's great quarterback. He's doing all of this. And Kyle said, you know, the regular conversation. Any quarterback can come into this system and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Then there's a switch. And the switch goes from, okay. Now I have to coach you versus your deficiencies, not your attributes. And now everything that we saw early with Brock, you know how many times Brock was throwing the ball downfield when he first came on with the Niners, bro? All the time, bro.
Yep.
He was always throwing the ball down the field. How many times does Brock throw the ball down the field now?
Not a lot.
Come on, bro. The same thing it happened to Jimmy. When Jimmy first came on, the whole playbook was wide open, right? Why?
He's doing it with Mac right now too. He did it with Nick Mullins. He did it with what? Okay, yep, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, he does it all the time, bro. Kyle is a love bomber, bro. He love bombs, bro. This is what he does. He comes in and he's like, man, I really love it here, man. Here's flowers, man. Here's candy. Oh, you want to go to dinner every night? We can go to dinner every night. I don't care. I'm
the best communicator.
I'm of all time.
Everything that's on my mind.
I literally don't have a temper. I never get mad at anything. Yeah. And then what happens is that when you get 6 months down the road and all of the casual sex is out of the way, it comes out. And he's like, you look.
He starts pooping with the door open and being abusive. And
is that what you're wearing today? Yeah. And all of a sudden it just comes out, bro.
Have you put on weight?
Yes, I'm telling you, I don't like being touched. Don't touch me. Dude, it happens every time. I am not falling for this Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan renaissance. Okay. This is just another honeymoon phase that we have seen with Kyle with every quarterback he has ever gotten. Okay. And once the love falls down and it wears off and Kyle's actually got to be linked with this guy on a Wednesday, not on a Friday and a Saturday when the weekend is popping, where it's like you got to show up on a Tuesday where there's nothing but fucking hamburger helper and Kool-Aid in the fucking fridge. Mm-hmm. And that's dinner today. He's going to show himself. Okay. And then it's going to be all about, you know what? Mac fucking sucks. And I got to call the offense like this because he's going to embarrass me. He's going to embarrass us. And we're going to be looking at Mac Jones like, why is Mac Jones throwing nothing but screens and checkdowns to CMC? Because Kyle happened. I'm telling you, bro. It always happens with this guy. People need to just understand the trend, Jesse. It's inevitable.
Kyle's favorite player on the team is the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
It always has been, and it always will be.
It's like the husband who's like cheating on his wife with like prostitutes. It's like, I love you, Mixie. You need to get out of here. I need to change. Why? Get out of here. What are you doing in here? I could change your life. It's like, dude, get out of here with your 401k. Trying to love up on, like, stop it, bro. Get your life together.
Oh my gosh, dude. All right. I can't argue. I really can't even argue that. I was trying to have a feel good moment there with Kyle Shanahan, and it just, all right. Good on you, man. That was well done. Very well done, coach. Very well done. I wouldn't expect any less from you. All right, listen. Here's the deal. We got a great Monday Night Football game on. Ravens, Lions. Got to go watch that. I know all of you want to check it out as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it was on Coach's channel, his Twitter, my channel, my Twitter. Either way, we appreciate all the support and love. Very much appreciated to everybody in the chat, everybody who likes, everybody who hate watches. We appreciate you. I know I'll be back tomorrow, Coach. I know that you're going to be in throughout the week as well. I'll be back tomorrow with Sunil, and
I'll be back tomorrow with Neutral Zone with Chunder Boy.
Oh, there we go. Chunder Boy. All right. Hey, I haven't seen Chunder Boy in a while. Hope he's doing well.
Yep.
All right. Listen, everybody have a blessed night. Enjoy the game. We'll talk soon. Much love. Peace.